High Above the Sun and Stars. Written by TheNewYorkBrony. Pretty long line, huh? Sunset said, poking at Twilight's rib with her elbow. Thanks for coming with me on the Ferris wheel, Twily. Though I do remember you saying something about a fear of heights at Pinky's last sleepover, she added thoughtfully, rubbing her chin. Twilight chuckled nervously. Me? Afraid of heights? No fear of heights here. She hoped Sunset couldn't notice that she was sweating and that her hands were starting to go clammy every step they took further and further forward towards the Ferris wheel. If Sunset had noticed, she didn't say anything because as they got closer and closer to the front of the line, there was a pep in her step and a smile on her face a mile wide. I've never ridden on one of these things before. She linked arms with Twilight, humming a happy tune. I'm so glad you came with me. I can't think of anyone else I want to ride the Ferris wheel with. Twilight felt her heart beat faster, the joy and happiness in her friend's eyes making a blush rise to her face. Sunset was truly beautiful and extremely cute when she was excited. It was like watching a little kid. She couldn't say no to that. She couldn't tell her the truth. That means a lot, Sunset. You have no idea. The kind words calmed Twilight, at least until she turned to face in front of her and realized that they were next in line. They were all the way in the back just a second ago. Had she really been staring at Sunset for that long? Twilight watched in horror as an empty cab came down in front of them, and the ride attendant lifted the bar to let them on. The cab swayed slightly as they stepped into it, Twilight trembling the entire time. Was there really only a bar standing between them and the ground? Slowly but surely, the Ferris wheel cab started to rise, and with it, Twilight's anxiety. How tall was this Ferris wheel? Twilight's stomach lurched as the lights that were strewn about the game booths and the people around them became nothing but colored dots. Twilight, are you alright? Sunset's voice broke the spell slightly, and Twilight released her grip on the safety bar that was so tight that her knuckles were going white. She immediately released her hold and placed her nervous hands in her lap. Never better, she lied. Oh, well, okay, Sunset said, smiling. Wow, she exclaimed, leaning forward to the horror of the girl next to her. You can see the school from here. How cool is that? She turned to Twilight, who was looking just as uneasy and clammy as before. You know, she said softly, if you want to get off, it's okay. We could ask them to stop the ride and... No! Twilight shouted. No, she repeated, softer this time. That isn't necessary. She took a deep breath in and then exhaled. A calming technique her sister-in-law Cadence had taught her when she first started having panic attacks. I, just saw a bee, yeah. And it made me nervous, 'cause, like, what if there was a beehive around here? We wouldn't be able to protect ourselves. Twilight lied, her hands on the bar again. This time, she made sure not to hold on with so much force. Sunset, not quite sure how to respond to that, nodded and leaned back in her seat. I never went to the amusement parks or anything back in Equestria. I didn't think they were worth the time. I always got invited by people, ponies, who wanted to be my friend, but I always brushed them off. Studying was so much more important than just relaxing and having fun for once. I honestly didn't know how to do any of that stuff before I met you guys, she confessed, laughing a little. Oh, I'm glad I met you. All of you guys. I've experienced so much because of our friendship. So, thanks, Twilight. Sunset flashed Twilight a toothy grin, that almost made her forget what was happening, until she heard a loud creak and crunching sound, followed by the Ferris wheel cab coming to a complete stop. Hello, Ferris wheel riders! It has come to our attention that there has been a malfunction in the system. Just sit tight, and we will have you down in a few. Twilight's eyes were pinpricks.
Are we stuck up here?
She leaned over the rail to see that they were at the very top, and indeed, stuck.
A few what? A few hours?
The world started to swirl for Twilight, and her breathing became very heavy and short. Sunset grabbed her arms. Twilight, hey! Her eyes went wide, and suddenly she was no longer on the Ferris wheel. She was in Twilight's room, watching her pace in front of her mirror.
What do I do, Spike? I'm terrified of heights. Oh, why did I promise I'd ride the Ferris wheel with her?
Twilight sparkled threw her hands in the air and flumped down on her bed, groaning. Spike rolled his eyes.
Why don't you just tell her the truth? I'm sure Sunset would understand.
Twilight rolled over to face him.
It's not that easy, Spike. She asked me to go up there with her, not any of the other girls. She's so pretty and cool. I want to spend that time with her. I think my heart wouldn't be able to take it if she took someone else up there with her.
I don't think your heart would be able to take it if you forced yourself on that thing.
Remember the last time Shiny and Cadence took you up there?
Spike responded, raising a brow. Twilight sighed.
Yes, I know. I threw up all over the ride, and they had to stop it just to let us down,
she said, wincing. Twilight then hugged herself.
But I don't want to miss this opportunity. This might be my only chance alone to tell her how I feel.
Spike shrugged.
If it means that much to you, then go up there with her. Tell her how you feel. Just, don't throw up all over her. Spike!
Sunset blinked, and she was back in the present, Twilight shaking like a wet dog beside her.
Twilight, why didn't you tell me? We could have done something else together.
Tears welled in Twilight's eyes.
I'm so sorry. I should have been honest with you. I really like you, Sunset, and I didn't exactly know how to tell you. I thought this would be really romantic, but all it was an epic disaster.
It wasn't an epic disaster, Sunset told her, smiling. I mean, hey, at least you didn't throw up on me. Twilight glared at her. Sunset threw her hands up in defeat.
You're right. Bad choice of joke. I guess you could say it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Ow!
She giggled when Twilight punched her arm. They did get down, eventually, and Twilight had silently sworn she'd never go up on a Ferris wheel ever again. She held on to Sunset the entire time they were led to the ambulance, where they were offered cups of water and safety blankets. Twilight stared into her cup, not quite sure how to start the conversation.
Sorry,
she mumbled.
You're right. I should have been more honest with you about my fear of heights and my feelings.
She looked away, ashamed. Sunset let her safety blanket fall off of her, and she put her arms around Twilight in a comforting hug. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Promise me, though, no more secrets? If something is bothering you, just let me know. I won't get mad. She held out her pinky finger, which Twilight took with her own. The two giggled, and Twilight sighed.
I know this part wasn't particularly my fault. I'm sorry your first Ferris wheel ride was ruined by a system malfunction.
Sunset shrugged.
Yeah, it happens. Without it, I might have known how you felt about me. Plus, this is a good first date story to tell the kids.
She joked cheekily.
Me and you? First date?
Twilight murmured dumbly in her stupor.
Maybe we could try it again?
How does Friday Night at 6 sound? And I promise there won't be any heights involved, Sunset told her, grinning. Twilight nodded like a bobblehead. Incoming footsteps snapped her back to reality as she saw their mutual friends running at them full speed. We heard what happened, Rainbow Dash shouted, of course being the first one to arrive. Rarity was close behind. Indeed. Darlings, are you all right? The others nodded in agreement. Twilight looked at Sunset, who winked at her, and made a shushing motion with her finger. Twilight smiled too. Never better. What the hey happened between them up there? Applejack mused. Pinky shrugged. Beats me.